Ye Old Man and Scythe pub in...
I mean, if anywhere's going to be haunted, it's going to be that
It's the Old Man and Scythe in Bolton.
There's been a lot of reported phenomena over the
definitely
years.
find ghostly activity.
To see where that atrocity took place.
To show you actual ghosts.
Try and scientifically prove that the pub's haunted.
This is Don Phillips, and this is a story of Ye Old Man and Scythe, a haunted pub in Bolton. And believe it or not, a Chinese artist claimed to have stolen a ghost from the toilet, put it in a canister, and planned to take it on a world tour. Despite the press reports, we were not actually interested in stolen ghosts. But was the Old Man and Scythe really haunted? Or was it a product of speculation, expectation, or overactive imagination? We were called in to find out. The Old Man and Scythe in Bolton is one of 10 of Britain's oldest pubs, dating back to 1251. It was in 1651 the Earl of Derby was executed by beheading outside Ye Old Man and Scythe. Through the years, inexplicable occurrences, paranormal activity and eyewitness accounts have been in abundance. More recently was this controversial footage which was captured on the pub security camera. Myself and Steve Marrick was invited to investigate the pub to see if activity could possibly be taking place. Tonight we're in Ye Old Man and Scythe. It's a public house in Bolton. I'm speaking to Richard. Some time ago there was a video clip released which showed something rather strange at the bar. It looked like a figure. So Richard, what can you tell me about that?
That figure was one of the things that's been recorded here.
Yeah.
What we get periodically, maybe every couple of months, is the staff come in and they see broken glass behind the bar. That's
Sorry, is that what caused you to review the footage?
That's right, because
Okay.
this particular day there was a few glasses broken behind the bar, which then led us initially to think, what's gone on with the staff.
Obviously, yeah.
So we looked and couldn't see anything, no glass there when the staff had left. Continued to watch the footage of the camera on the bar. So because we were watching the camera on the bar, which spans across the bar, then at that moment we caught that figure at the end of the bar.
Sonia, you've worked here for quite some time, have you?
Off and on over the years.
Off and on over the years.
Over 15 years.
Have you ever experienced anything here whilst you've been working of an unusual nature?
Temperatures upstairs.
Temperatures?
More, yeah, it's like you seem to go in a room and it's a bit more cooler than any of the other rooms.
Well, when we were watching the footage to see when these glasses were smashed,
Yeah.
which happened not too long before that footage, maybe a couple of minutes, it looked like it was a flash of light from outside, but it wasn't just your ordinary flash of light because there was a figure there.
One morning, I was here earlier doing the cleaning and I thought there was a shadow, but it's early morning, you think, oh, that's not very groggy.
Yeah.
And then you just double check and you think, no, I'm not that tired, I'm not. I'm like,
I suppose you've heard
something.
people talk about maybe the other thing that they may have experienced.
Yeah, people say they've seen like the lady walking around.
A lady?
There's a lady, yeah, a grey lady walks around.
Right, in dress or?
Yeah, apparently.
And is that downstairs?
Yeah, in the back room.
In the back room?
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone used to talk about her.
Is there more than one person claimed to have seen that?
Yeah, well, God, I can't remember. It's a long time ago. Yeah, it's usually just even making a difference, like ages. It's just like sometimes it'd be
Right.
like a bloke just sat there reading his paper.
Oh, and you'll
or a
say.
group of women, and they'll go like, oh, weird woman in there.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it certainly does look like some kind of figure. Now, I'm sure many people have put forward a lot of different explanations as to what they think. What kind of things have you been put forward to you, suggested to you?
Lights, cars going past outside, from joke things to it must have been the spirits in the balls to
All sorts of
all
things.
kinds of things.
So how long have you actually been in this place?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. I'll just explain, the temperature tonight is absolutely boiling, so you have to excuse us if we're kind of dripping a little, you know.
I think it has a different feel, the public house, during the day than it does at night. Do you think it changes the atmosphere?
Yes.
Okay. It's just a little bit more eerie, would you say?
It's not eerie. I don't feel threatened by
Right.
it. It's just you definitely feel like there's something going. Okay, you've had your time now. Do one.
Right.
It's our time now.
Now, as you're probably aware, there's been some interesting CCTV footage. What do you make? Have you seen it?
I've seen the footage.
Right. What did you make of it?
I was a little bit sceptical because
Yeah.
I've never actually seen anything in all the years I've been here.
Right.
But we used to say.
Right. And there's been some strange allegations about somebody who's recently been in the press, hasn't it? Regarding some strange allegations. What do you think of that? Yeah, it is a bit unusual, you know.
Well, because I've never heard that the Earl of Derby is supposed to be frequenting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he'd moved on.
Right.
I didn't think he'd want to hang around after what he did.
Well.
But there's enough other characters that the manager, John Madden, knows more of.
Right.
And he's got very good knowledge of this place.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds fascinating. Well, there's a huge amount of history here. We're going to be spending the night. We're going to hopefully try and find out some information to either way, as if something is unusual going on here. And it might be a very interesting night. So let's see what happens.
Told to shut the door with it. Anyway.
I'll do.
Always leave the door open.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you.
Right, so what other things have you experienced, heard, seen or anything? Because I know this place has got quite a reputation. I mean, what's it, 1200s?
Yeah, 1251.
1251.
So it's his age, but it's also the things that have happened here. So the Bolton massacre took place right outside the pub. The 7th Earl of Derby, James Stanley, had his last meal inside before he got his head chopped off right outside.
Well, we'll start there because we don't want his information, but
okay.
I appreciate that. Okay, so why did you call me in? Why did you call us in? I mean, there's been other people in before, hasn't there?
There has, yeah. Not so much in the past 4 years since I've been here.
Okay.
I've shied away from that a little bit, but just recently it's been in the media again because a Chinese artist has said they've been along and stolen one of our ghosts.
Yeah, I saw that article. Apparently, I think the headline was something like, your landlord was upset because a Chinese man had stolen a ghost from the toilet, or something quite strange.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that headline didn't actually come from you, did it?
No, it didn't.
No, well that's what I thought, but it's always worth checking. Right, so this evening, it is now, it's getting on for midnight. We're going to be here all night. Steve's currently setting some equipment upstairs and he's going to be interviewing one of your bar staff as well. Have you any questions?
No, quite excited to see what you
No pressure then?
what you find. No,
Okay.
no pressure.
So we'll begin the investigation very, very soon. Richard, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming down.
Okay guys, Richard and his partner have now left for the evening. It's now, I think it's about 1 AM and we are just about to actually start the investigation. We've got Steve at the minute, he's setting up a couple of cameras. Now this place, the energy, there seems to be pockets of energy, quite sporadic at the moment. It's there and then it's gone and then it's there again. Now it was during the time, me and Richard, the owner, the landlord, we were standing here, we could account for everybody, there was nobody else, so just us two. Place the recorders on here. Just record, hands away, total silence, apart from the pumps you can obviously hear now. Play them back. Beautiful, excellent woman's voice. Now bear in mind there's only me and Richard here. The others are right upstairs. There's no way that sound would filter down here. I'll play that in a minute. Let's go to Steve now, because Steve is now just setting up the little cameras which we often use. So let's go. Right, this is where we are for the evening. There's some of our equipment. There's Steve. I was just thinking about the recording, Steve. That the couple of real good recordings there, wasn't there? That we got. What I said is we'll play them through the amp.
Yeah.
We'll do that in a minute, but first of all, just explain what we're doing now, Steve. What have you got there?
I've just set up the E-Action cams, and as you can see, they are connected directly to the mobile device.
Okay.
And we're going to basically sit one in each bedroom and leave them running for a duration of time.
Okay, so let's go and do that now, so you can capture anything. Very, very interesting place already. I'm not sure we're going to get tonight, but we're already getting something, so let's crack up.
So what we're going to do is we're going to set one in each bedroom. I'm going to set the first one in this bedroom on the side.
Now, this is one of the rooms that's said to be pretty active.
And on this room here, I'm going to set another one here. Yeah, just like so.
Brilliant. Okay, what we're going to do now is let's listen to a couple of the recordings that we captured just a few minutes ago.
The night's still young, and there's already been some fascinating recordings that have been captured on our audible devices. Whilst Don was downstairs with Richard, the landlord, he took a recording, and it was absolutely incredible the response he got back. Definitely a female voice. But most of all, absolutely amazing, was an old man's voice that said, "I'm a soldier." And it was so clear and distinct, we had to make an immediate note about it. So, like I said, the night is young, and this is only a small part of the building that we've actually ventured forth into. So there's a lot more to do, and probably a lot more recordings to be able to be captured.
As Steve was just saying, took a couple of very, very interesting recordings. One that Steve's just mentioned is, sounds like an elderly gentleman says, "I'm a soldier." Now, to me, that is very, very clear. To everybody that's heard it, it's very, very clear. See what you think of this one. Again. Okay, so this is the area where that original footage was taken. I'm going to ask Steve about that. We know that the CCTV camera, we know the speed of the frames up, and it definitely looks like some kind of figure. Now, some people have said that might be car headlights. I struggle with that, and I'll tell you why. First of all, this is a pedestrian zone. Second of all, if a taxi went by, it's either going to the left or to the right. There's actually nothing whatsoever coming through them lights there. Now, also, I'm looking opposite now. It's 2:15 in the morning. Street lights and the other kind of illumination, and there's actually nothing coming through. There's no lamps outside or anything else. What I am going to do, I'm going to get that original footage from Richard, and me and Steve will analyse that to see if we can find anything else about it. So I do find that footage really, really interesting. Steve, what do you make of that? You've seen the footage now? So.
I've seen the CCTV footage. It's very dark, but there is definitely a movement on it from the CCTV camera. We talked to the landlord a little bit earlier and realised that the CCTV camera now system has been updated, but it was in relatively the same place, pointing in this direction. And I do agree that the fact is that it wouldn't seem to have that illumination.
There's no
of
illumination
lights.
coming through.
Absolutely none. No, there's nothing. I mean, I've looked outside, and it is a pedestrian zone, and it is very, very little lighting out there to shine through. So, yeah, it's
going to be interesting when we actually get the footage to analyse ourselves frame by frame.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant. The other thing is as well, on the original footage, the camera's speeded up quite a lot. The footage is speeded up to create that effect. So if that was something actually passing by the window, casting a light in, it'd have to be there for an awful long time. So I think we can eliminate that. What is it? We don't know. We still don't know. We're none the wiser, but we are going to get the footage. Richard is going to let us have the original footage. We are going to analyse it. We are going to check it and see if we can derive anything from it. Earlier, and prior to leaving, Richard had shown us a room that he had always had some kind of uneasy feeling. I settled down trying to take some recordings. The conditions were very, very poor. I could feel the slight energy, but wasn't expecting a great deal. I'll be honest, it is still feeling pretty flat, but that's normally, it's an indication, but it's not a golden rule. We could still pick some recordings up. There's a little room to my left here as well. I'm going to go in there very shortly. Can any spirits approach me, please? Could you just come close so that I can hear you, so that I can feel you? Because at the moment I can't do either. It's very hot, very, very muggy. Would I say, if you have trouble speaking, you're capable, can you, if you can move anything in this room or throw anything in this room or speak directly into that camera, that would be greatly appreciated. This is the problem with tonight, a little bit, you know. Well, if you say get out, you know what, I believe in manners, you know, a little bit of respect, and get out is not going to do it for me. So if you want us to leave, you ask politely, but tell me why at least. Can you do that? Moments later, a female spirit responded by saying, "I'm Dorothy. Take a listen to this." I know what it is. Thank you for that. Right, for reference, Steve.
Yeah.
That's number just like 23 on the DM670. And now it was time to move on. Okay, so tonight we've been struggling a little bit. The energy is not particularly strong. The voices have been very, very quiet, but nevertheless, I still think we've got some pretty interesting stuff. We've got to go through the footage, we've got to go through the audio, and story of John. Now, John Mayfair. I don't know if that means anything. We're yet to check that out. I'm not even sure about the Mayfair, but it's just something that I got from somewhere. To intents and purposes, you know, the guy lost his woman in a fire and effectively shot himself. Unfortunately, the recordings are not that clear for us to put out as 100% evidence, but they're still good enough for, well, to raise our curiosity. So it'd be interesting to check them names. We're going to go in now. We've probably got about an hour and a half left. We'll check out a couple more rooms that we've not been in yet, but say the energy is pretty flat everywhere. But nevertheless, I think we've got some pretty good stuff. When I was just outside in the street, I left my recorder running. I thought, you know, we are struggling a little bit, so let's just see what happens. The soundproofing is very good between the two doors. We was obviously on the outside, wasn't being very particularly loud, and just come in and we've got what sounds like an elderly gentleman, which sounds, among the sounds in there, sounds like the words heart attack. Now, earlier I was told by Steve and Jackie that, I don't even know his surname, there was a guy called John who died in that chair, and I've just said to Steve, you died of a heart attack, because this really does sound like a heart attack. I'm going to play this in a minute, but I don't actually know it. I'll play it for you now. Okay. Steve, what do you get from that? What can you hear?
Well, from here, it clearly sounds like the words heart attack. They also, it's got like it's like a male voice. Sounds like an old male voice. Definitely the words heart attack. I mean, I could hear it from here, good 6-7 foot away. You know, that's. I don't know. We're going to have to find out if the old guy, John, was the chair he was sat in. Did he die from a heart attack? And certainly we might be able to find some details out from the landlord. If that is the case, then.
Well, we don't know if it's John, but I mean, at the end of the day, an elderly gentleman just saying 2 words, heart attack, Steve. I mean, it's got to be relevant to something. That sounds like a heart attack. Steve thinks it sounds like a heart attack. I think we should put this back on that door, leave it 5 minutes, just wander off and just come back and check it afterwards. Steve, shall we do that? Do you want to come in?
I think that's a good idea. We need to see if we can replicate that. So.
Because that was very good, that heart attack. You can hear both words, heart attack. So
worth doing again.
Yeah, so.
Try it out and see how we go.
Okay, mate. Let's do it. Could be interesting. Hey, Mike, can you hear the sound?
Yeah, it's got good acoustics.
So we decided to put the recorder in the same position, in the same location, and leave it for 5 minutes. Could we record the same thing again? Surely not. Surely that would be impossible. We returned 5 minutes later to see what we'd captured. Could be interesting, Steve.
It could be. I mean, if we just get something as similar like that last one, that would be fascinating.
Soundproofing is really good as well.
It's got very good acoustics because it's
Very
a
thick
tiny
doors
little room.
and thick doors.
Yeah, caught between two doors. So it should be really interesting. It's well worth
We'll check it in 5. What we can do now is we're going back to that recorder that we put out a few minutes ago and see if we've got anything interesting on it, Steve. So do you want to go and retrieve that, Steve?
Stop.
Yeah, bring it straight into the room. A bit quieter.
Okay, we're going to try it straight away, can't we?
Well, I think it's better all in one frame, isn't it? So,
Okay.
right, let's have a look, see what we've got, if anything. So, oh, what's that?
Something on it.
That is, I'll tell you how far that into the recording. That's probably about 35, 40 seconds or something like that. By which time we was
Yeah, we were
way down there.
Yeah.
And the sound would not carry through the door and sound like that, would it? Okay.
I don't recognise it.
Again, something else. We're getting all these little teasers, ain't we? All these little strange pieces, which we can't actually prove some of them. We can't prove that was not something else, but very interesting, very interesting. Right, energy's still quite flat here. We are just going to wander around. Steve's even set up a camera in the toilets now. Yeah, I think that's a little bit... But the place is closed, so we'll forgive him. But it's something I need to be aware of, obviously, if I need to frequent the premises. Jack is just about spent, so we're going to be wrapping up soon, to be honest with you. I keep hoping it's going to change, you know, the energy's going to go whoosh, but it's something that's beyond our control, something that's beyond their control. I mean, one thing that is certainly apparent, we have had proper voices tonight, Steve. We have had information.
Yeah, and we heard a noise earlier to check out, haven't we?
Yeah, we heard a very strange sound in the ladies' toilets. I heard it as well. I thought it was one of the, what do they call them? The things that just time things, you know.
Yeah, but you tend to get them in gents, but not females.
Yeah, good point. So we're going to set that out now. Right, guys. Strange little thing. I was sitting out there talking to Steve and Jackie, and just from nowhere, this. Oh, it's a toilet sprayer, isn't it? No.
No.
Why?
Because I haven't heard that all night.
No, I haven't. I'll check it in a minute. Anyway, sitting out there, bang, 1631. Now, I thought 1631, and then I thought, I was asking in there, that guy, John, for a year and didn't get a reply. Now, I don't know at this point, but I'm wondering where the hell 1631's come from. Now, it is no secret there was a fire, but we don't know what date that was. It was rebuilt in 1636. Now, problem I've got is, if the fire was in 1631, everyone's going to say, oh yeah, but that's well documented. You know what, I totally agree. So I'm actually hoping it's not that, and there's some other relevance that's not well known to 1631. During shooting, we was interrupted with a strange sound that came from the toilets. Hi guys, strange little thing. I was sitting out there talking to Steve and Jackie, and just from nowhere, this... Oh, it's a toilet sprayer, isn't it? We wasn't sure what it was at the time, but we decided to go and investigate. It's from the ladies. Sounded like, okay.
I can't tell that you're on the ladies.
Right. Okay, so what we've got in here
Looking for a dispenser of some kind, aren't we?
is your average loo.
Ah, hang on, I think we found it.
Yeah.
I bet that was it.
Well, can it be triggered? Usually, sometimes they have a.
Try it.
I can't smell it. Can you?
Well, it smells quite fragranty in here, to be honest.
Okay.
Is it flat?
Yeah. That's flat. If it wasn't that.
Well, not unless it was making that sound to say it was flat, but it didn't sound
No,
like it was.
no.
Is there any more in it? So look. Expecting the
To be
ladies.
honest with you, Dom, because these doors are quite thick, I don't think you'd hear that sound.
You'd be surprised sometimes, but no, that's the only thing that's in here.
No.
Okay, well that noise is on camera, Steve. That noise is on camera because we was filming at the time, so we can check that out. We can review it. No, that's all there is.
It wasn't that.
Okay, it wasn't that. Okay, well it's something we can check, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. No. If it was a male toilet, I would say it was a sprinkler system.
Well, it's like a double barrel sound, wasn't it? It was like
It was twice. Yeah.
and they normally just go like tch, tch, down there.
Yeah, they just. It was more prolonged than that, wasn't it?
Yeah, also. Yeah, and in there you had a dragging sound, didn't you, in the night?
Yeah.
So like something dragging, but obviously it's locked and we can't get access to it, which is a bit of a shame. Having now isolated that sound clip and took another listen, incredibly, it sounds just like the other recording that was captured on the digital recorders sometime earlier. It is very difficult to make out what is being said, but there is no doubt the similarities between the sound are very, very close. Oh, what was that? Our time spent at Ye Old Man and Scythe in Bolton proved very, very interesting. I managed a great deal of spirit interactions through the night, and you've already heard some of those recordings. And so here are some more, which I'd like to share with you. Me and Richard, the owner, the landlord, we were standing here, we could account for everybody, there was nobody else, so just us two. Place the recorders on here. Just record, hands away, total silence, apart from the pumps you can obviously hear now. Play them back. Beautiful, excellent woman's voice. The night's events proved very, very interesting. You have heard some of the recordings that was captured. Here's a few more that I captured during my spirit interactions. Zoom into the recorder now. So I've got to redo it. For those who follow my work, you will obviously know who Becky is. Becky is a spirit personality that I asked to join me and help me during my work a long, long time ago. Becky obviously wanted to catch my attention. I asked Becky what it is she wanted to say. She said, "Watch your back." Take a listen to this. Yes, Becky, is that you? What is it, Chick? Earlier in this episode we mentioned the recording which sounded very much like heart attack, taken on the door, and also something very similar coming from the toilets. Having listened to it again, you could also say heart attack. Reason for that is the following. First of all, we had a gentleman who said, "I'm a soldier." Now what was interesting there was he said, "I'm a soldier," not "I was a soldier." So the heart attack could possibly tie in with that. Also bearing in mind that both those recordings were taken in the same vicinity. Then we have the recording from Becky that said, "Watch your back." These recordings may be related or may be unrelated, but all the same, very, very interesting. When we arrived at Ye Old Man and Scythe, we didn't know what to expect. There was lots of speculation, lots of rumours, and the video many people thought was fake. The video we will be examining in more detail and trying to replicate on Halloween night, for what was, to all intents and purposes, a very flat evening with very low energy, we secured enough evidence, enough data, to suggest the Old Man in Scythe is genuinely haunted.
No? Not number 8. Told to see.
Well, if you do call it, because there's two of these, it's the only one we're using with batteries in there, isn't it? So.
670.
No,
I've got to switch it off,
376.
I've got to save the batteries.